Happy Tuesday. Today I want us to look at a prayer of Moses that's found in Psalm 90. This grows out of our study of Colossians chapter 3, verses 1 through 4, which I hope you were looking at yesterday and we'll look at again today. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. So we have been, in this letter that Paul wrote, been looking at Christ. We've been looking at thinking about covenants. We've been thinking about false teachers. We've been thinking about a number of things. Most recently, we've been thinking about eternity. Well, towards the end of Moses' life, he is obviously attending a lot of funerals because his friends are at this point passing away. And he prays this prayer. He says, Lord, teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. This is not a macabre prayer. This is not ugly and dark. It's just he's asking for the opportunity and the privilege to be reflective, to understand that life is short. I recently turned 60, and my family refers to that as I'm now in my 7th decade, which makes it sound like I'm older than I am. And sometimes it feels that way, aches and pains and all that. Most of the time it doesn't. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. My younger brothers and sisters are all talking about retirement and anxious for retirement. I'm not at all. It's not on my radar. But I am aware increasingly that life is short. And when I was in my 20s, it was working as a college pastor. One of my college pastor colleagues made the observation one day. It was sort of dryly delivered, but it was a humorous line. He says, life is so short. He goes, I'm going bald and I still break out at the same time. I'm getting hit from both ends. I'm going bald and my face still breaks out at the same time. I realized how short life was when I got a minivan. We had 3 boys. We bought a minivan, and I was like, I am not the kind of person that buys a minivan. And I was saying that for a number of years, and then Sherry points out, she goes, you know what, you're right. You're not the kind of person that buys a minivan. She goes, because we don't need a minivan anymore because we're too old to have a minivan. Wow, life races by. So I think Moses' prayer is a good one. Lord, teach me to number my days. Solomon has a similar kind of prayer, a little darker, I think. He says it's better to go to a funeral than to attend a feast. For funerals remind us that we all must die. Wow. He's the life of the party. Better to go to a funeral than a feast, because funerals remind us that we all must die. Now, this isn't engender a fear of death, and I've said we don't have to look forward to the process of dying, but there is a sense in which this sharpens our focus, and it helps us appreciate what we have, and it helps us take advantage of what we have. And those who have read the New Testament and those who focus on an empty tomb are alert to the privileges and the joys that await us as we transition out of this, the land of the dying, and move forward into the land of the living. So I want to encourage you today to pray the prayer of Moses in Psalm 90. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Have a good day.